hate me, don't you?
Kons podcast.
You hate me, don't you?
Hit that like button, subscribe and share.
You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?
Constant content.
You hate me, don't you?
Constant content. Kons motherfucking podcast. Constant motherfucking content.
Going to be used in the trial. So now they are going to be presenting that video to the jury, speaking on the little Durk situation and how the court definitely has lack of evidence and he could definitely be free. Some of Fat Joe's major hits and said he wanted bread for it. When he said he wanted bread for it, and Fat Joe was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Was definitely start throwing hands and pushing and shoving and all that type of shit. And these women are not young.
You hate me, don't you?
Yeah, what's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Thank you for the round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the round of applause. It is a fine Wednesday, middle of the week. It's motherfucking hump day. You know what I'm saying? Middle of the week, getting over that hump, over that hill. You know what I'm saying? Before we enter the pre-weekend, before the weekend. You know what I mean? It's 12:39 in the afternoon out here in California. And like I said yesterday, the coldness is dwindling off. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to have warm days. You know what I mean? Starting to be 80 degrees for the high and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. You know what I mean? I hate my cold is going. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be hot the rest of the fucking year whenever, as soon as it hit 90 degrees, that's it for us out here for the coldness. It's gonna be all gone. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is episode 236. Episode 236 today on this fine Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? You know what I mean? Hope y'all enjoyed yesterday's episode. It was a little lengthy, you know what I'm saying? But I had a lot to say on the subjects, you know what I mean? Plus, I was absent on Monday, you know what I'm saying? And I kept a lot of the same subjects that I was going to talk about on that Monday, you feel me? So I had a lot to marinate on, a lot to think about. So I had a lot to say on these certain subjects that covered yesterday, you know what I mean? So hope y'all enjoyed that though. Hope y'all enjoyed yesterday's episode 235, you know what I mean? Well, I brought to light to you that Kanye and Boosie was going back and forth, you know what I mean? Putting out videos. Kanye talked some shit, talking about he smelled broke. Boosie definitely had some clap back for that, you know what I mean? We definitely talked about Big X the Plug went on Jimmy Kimmel, had a very humbling moment and gifted Jimmy Kimmel one of his own pendants, the Texas slang pendant that he be wearing. He's the only other dude that got that Texas pendant on, and he gifted one to Jimmy Kimmel on the show. Touched on Shannon Sharp decided to step down from ESPN, you know what I'm saying, due to the allegations with him and the little extortion bitch from OnlyFans. Then we touched on Diddy about the Enterprise letters and the new allegations and shit like that he got going on and shit like that. We had Khadisha Lynn break it all down to you in the clip I used, you know what I'm saying, the new information with his case, you feel me? So that was yesterday's episode 235. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Hope I put something in your ear that you didn't know. Hope you found out about it right here on Kons Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Hope you found out about some of those topics right here first on Kons Podcast, you feel me? But yeah, this is episode 236 today. I got a few little topics today. Got 4 little topics today, you know what I mean, that we're going to be going over, you know what I'm saying? First up, we're going to touch on Diddy, you feel me? I got some more information on the Diddy case, you know what I mean? He is looking to gag order Cassie's lawyer, you know what I mean? Along with some other shit that I had found out watching this little attorney's TikTok that he put out about the Diddy case and some other information that was going on in the clip that you're going to see relating to that topic. Then I got Little Durk, you know what I'm saying? Little Durk and family fighting for justice, you feel me? Because they believe that he is wrongfully jailed, you know what I mean? And he should not be in jail due to lack of evidence that they have presented in the courtroom. Fat Joe is currently suing his former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon, for calling him a PDF. So he's suing him for that defamation. Then we had the Beyonce concert kick off her little Cowboy Carter tour. Kicked off with a melee There's some grown-ass women in the back, in the VIP section at that. Y'all paid extra money to come to the VIP section and get extremely ratchet. You know what I'm saying? We're going to touch on that. But yeah, that's the topics we're going to be touching on today. That's the 4 little topics we're going to be touching on today. You know what I'm saying? Hope all y'all doing good. You feel me? If this your first time here, this is where we talk about the headlines, news, you know what I mean? Shit that went viral, shit that made a headline somewhere, you know what I mean? Wherever you pulled up, may have seen it. Where you pulled up Google, pulled up YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Typed it in, your news, typed headlines in, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Hip Hop DX, wherever you may have seen a headline, that's probably, I'm going to be touching on a few of them right here on this podcast. You feel me? This is where we touch on all the daily news and daily updates and headlines and shit that's going on. You know what I mean? Hopefully you find out right here first. You know what I mean? This is the Kons Podcast Hood News. You know what I'm saying? The KPHN. You feel me? But yeah, this is where you're going to get the daily news and updates. If this your first time here and this your first time here, I hope you here to stay. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and kick your feet up. I got content coming Monday through Friday. You feel me? Now, based on everything that's going on, it might not be a solid 100% Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? Because there is shit that goes on in my life to where I just don't have the time of day to come and film and edit and all that shit. You know what I mean? But I will definitely be transparent with the audience, you know what I mean, the next day prior to, if I didn't film on a Monday, you gonna hear why I didn't film on that Monday come Tuesday. You feel me? But yeah, though, you know what I mean? Without further ado, you know what I'm saying? Enough of the banter. You feel me? Let's get right into it. Know what I'm saying? So first up, we got the Diddy case. You know what I mean? So Diddy has just recently put out there that he wants to give Cassie's lawyer a gag order. You know what I'm saying? Wants to give her a gag order. So he wants to give her a gag order, wants to give her lawyer a gag order. And also, the video that we all seen is now going to be used in the courtroom. You feel me? The video that we all seen that he tried to say was altered, where we seen him chase Cassie down the corridor in the hotel lobby that day and pushed her down and kicked her and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that is now admissible in the courtroom and is going to be used in the trial. So now they are going to be presenting that video to the jurors, and also that is going to make a selection of the jurors, being that this video is now admissible to be used in the court. So the judge, they're saying that if the judge and the juror can stomach watching the video, you know what I'm saying, they're going to break it down and analyze it, and with that is going to come with a bunch of questions that they're going to have looking at this video. You know what I'm saying? The questions like assault, battery, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, all of these things is going to come up after they view this video in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? So this is just being admissible now. So the next little clip you're about to see is a attorney breaking down how this video is now admissible in the court. We had Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Widger, made a recent statement and said the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Kons. Words can't express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. You feel me? So this next little clip you're about to see is a attorney speaking on how that video is now admissible and it's going to play a factor in the juror selection on this case. Check it out.
Different take. In my opinion, jury selection in the Sean Combs case comes down to one named Cassandra Ventura. And why? Because it's not about the jury selection, which, don't get me wrong, is a huge issue. It's about the ruling that happened last week. Last week, the judge in the Sean Combs jury trial, which starts in about a week, ruled that the video of him beating Cassandra Ventura is going to be allowed to be played before the jury. And that is huge. Why? Because now the defense, during the jury selection process, their whole case, their whole theme is going to have to be out. We got to get it all out, Judge. We now, because they're going to see the video, we got to talk about the bad stuff. We got to ask about assaults. We got to ask about rape. We got to ask about batteries. And we got to figure out, can a jury sustain watching that video to someone who's not a party to this action and still render a fair and unbiased decision as to guilt and innocence? It's different for lawyers to be able to paint a picture, but when jurors, people weighing guilt and innocence, sees that video, they know inherently that that is wrong. So my legal take is the court's ruling last week saying that that video is coming in, it's admissible evidence, is a huge shift for the jury selection process, because those defense attorneys are going to have to work one by one, and they submit questions to the judge to ask, hey, how do you feel about this? Can you stomach this? Are you going to be able to look at this very difficult piece of evidence and still be able to weigh this case based on the burden of the prosecution beyond all reasonable doubt? Are you going to let this video taint your opinion as to the burden that the federal prosecution has because it's that hard to look at it? Or can you stomach it, weigh the totality of all the evidence, and still be able to render a verdict? It was a huge decision last week, and I think it's a game changer for the jury selection process.
That clip you just seen was the attorney breaking it all down, how the video is now going to be admissible in the court, and they are going to be free to break that video down and ask all type of questions about it, and also it's going to make the selection on the jurors and who's going to be present in that court, due to them analyzing and breaking down the video that we all seen of Cassie in the hallway and Diddy coming out in a towel, chasing her and throwing her to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he said he definitely wanted to put a gag order on Cassie's lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I guess apparently he been putting a bunch of allegations out there that he didn't like and wants him to be silent now. You know what I mean? In other news, Lil Durk. So Lil Durk, you know what I'm saying? Lil Durk family is fighting. You know what I mean? Is fighting for the justice of Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? Saying that he is in jail due to the lack of evidence. Saying that he should not be in jail. I mean, due to lack of evidence. And they also trying to use his lyrics from a song. The song that was put out months prior to the actual murder happening. So they're trying to use this, and these lyrics were put over a video that a fan had made from a fan page. Put over a video of it's a video of Quando Rondo, I believe, is what I read. Video of Quando Rondo when he's screaming out no and screaming out in agony and sorrow because his cousin was just murdered. You know what I'm saying? So this video was put out along with the lyrics to the song that they are trying to say that the lyrics is pretty much indicting himself, and he's telling the story of the murder of Little Paul. You feel me? Is what they're claiming. But now the song was released months prior to the incident happening. You know what I'm saying? So his family and everybody is fighting for him to be released and for them to throw the case out because they feel that it is extreme lack of evidence and they have nothing tying him to this murder for hire that they are trying to wrap him up for. You know what I'm saying? So his family is now starting a trial and case and petition to try to get him out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like he could definitely be freed. You know what I mean? Because there is lack of evidence. There's nothing tying him to the murder of Little Paul. You know what I'm saying? Besides what they were using in court is these song lyrics, apparently, that was placed over the video of Quando Rondo screaming out no. You know what I'm saying? At the scene when his cousin was just murdered. You know what I mean? So due to they put the lyrics over the video, they're trying to use that in court against Lil Durk. You feel me? So his family and shit is fighting for the shit to be thrown out and for him to be freed. You know what I'm saying? 1090 Jake had put a video out speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who 1090 Jake is, you're about to find out. He's a white boy who puts his YouTube channel is called End of Sentence. He puts out a lot of, if anybody had got murdered or anybody got unalived, whatever the case may be, he probably definitely gonna cover on it. You know what I'm saying? He covers a lot of the death that goes on in hip hop. You feel me? So he had put out a video of him speaking on the Lil Durk situation and how the court definitely has lack of evidence and he could definitely be freed. You know what I'm saying? So this clip you're about to see is of 1090 Jake breaking the situation down and saying that he could very well be freed due to lack of evidence and fan-made pages that they are trying to tie him into. Check this clip out.
It will be released because of the fact that they debunked a video in which crime scene footage was shown and it was posted by a fan page. Does that not seem like maybe all the evidence isn't there. We know how powerful the feds are, right? We know when the feds indict, it's damn near a done case. But could the feds literally keep you in custody over a video that fans posted? That sounds crazy. Now this is major because this means Durk could be coming home, which is insane to think about. Youngboy was out on bond, but he only had a federal gun charge versus Durk has a federal fucking assassination, murder, hitman, fucking, you know, it's way crazier of a case. And I can't think of anybody who's actually been released for having a case like that. But if he is released, this would be crazy. I mean, Durk's going to be stuck in the house, but he's going to be dropping music. He's going to be getting his money back up. More funds for the case. And, it would be amazing.
So as you seen, you know what I'm saying, that was 1090 Jake, you feel me, breaking it down to you and saying that he could be freed because they using song lyrics that was put over a video, and these are videos that was put out by people that they're calling him Mr. Banks, which is Lil Durk. That's his government name, last name, Mr. Banks. Don't even know, you know what I mean? These are fan-made videos that was put out that the judge and the courts is trying to use against them, and also trying to use some rap lyrics against them on a song that was released months prior to the incident happening. So it's kind of looking good for Lil Durk at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Because they are falsifying evidence and trying to throw everything against him that's not true, you know what I mean? So now his family is fighting back, and his family put out a little statement that they released on his page on TikTok. They put this video out for Lil Durk. Check it out.
Don't you?
As you seen, you know what I'm saying, that was the video that so as you seen, you feel me, that was the video that his family had put out on his page, you know what I mean, as you can see with the words that they put on there, you know what I mean, in case you couldn't read them. They had put on there the recent developments in Durk's legal case that brought harsh truth to the light. The government presented false evidence to a grand jury to indict him. This isn't justice. That's a violation of the very system that's supposed to protect all of us. They also said Durk has always used music to tell stories, to express pain, to heal, and yet those same lyrics are now being used against him. You know what I'm saying? They also said, we refuse to stay silent as black artists continue to be criminalized for their creativity. And it says rap is art. Also says, as a family, we are asking the public and the fans and the culture to stand with us, stand for the truth, stand for fairness, stand for the voice. Yo, what's happening? If you enjoying this content and you fuck with the constant content Monday through Friday that I drop, you feel me? All the edits and all the work that I'm putting in to put these shows out. If you really fuck with Kons Podcast, man, go on, hit the like button, hit the like button, comment on something, and be sure to share this shit. You know what I mean? Be sure to share this shit. You know what I'm saying? Please share my content. You feel me? Yeah, with all my commentary and all that, hit the subscribe button. Let's get back to the episode. And it says free Durk. You know what I mean? So that's the little message that his family had put out on his page. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get Lil Durk freed. But it sounds like he very well could be, if they are using bullshit as evidence like that, and evidence that doesn't make any sense. There isn't anything that's saying, yes, you were the killer, you were the guy who hired these people. There isn't anything to present that or say that in the court. You know what I mean? Like I said, all they have is fan-made pages and old rap lyrics from an old song that has nothing to do with the incident. You know what I'm saying? So it very well looks like he can very well be freed for sure. Another news, Fat Joe. So Fat Joe is currently suing his former hype man Terrence T.A. Dixon. You know what I'm saying? Formerly, he's suing him because he had called him a PDF and said that he was interested in young girls. Now, this comes after he said that he was helping Fat Joe write some of his songs, and then he wanted money for it. Him and his lawyer had wanted money for Terrence Dixon, claiming that he was ghostwriting a lot of some of Fat Joe's hits. He was working for Fat Joe from 2006 to 2019. He claims that Joe was responsible for him not getting a record deal. Joe has released a statement saying that all of this shit is false and they've been trying to extort him for money, him and his lawyer, and also said that they are two disgruntled employees whose demands change by the day. And after all this took place is when that he started to claim that Fat Joe was a PDF, and also claiming that he is interested in young little girls. You know what I'm saying? So he started to say this after the case, you know what I'm saying, of him being mad. He wanted money for apparently alleging that he's ghostwriting some of Fat Joe's major hits, and said he wanted bread for it. When he said he wanted bread for it, and Fat Joe was like, "Nah, I ain't paying you nothing. You didn't ghostwrite shit." This is when he went on to start to call him PDF files and saying that he was trafficking, you know what I'm saying, pretty much calling him a Diddy. You feel me? All the shit that Diddy is in court for is what his former hype man was trying to put on Fat Joe himself. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip you about to see is just a video of some girl that I found on TikTok that was speaking on this. You know what I mean? Speaking, letting you further know that Joe is definitely filing and through his legal team at dude for saying that he's a PDF. Joe was like, "Nah, you're not about to put that on my name," and definitely got that legal team after him. You feel me? So this next little clip you're about to see is just her breaking it all down for you. Check it out.
Joe is suing his former hype man T.A. Dixon. Now the lawsuit claims that T.A. is trying to collect funds that he did not earn. He's saying that he ghostwrited some of Fat Joe's song and put some vocals on some of his songs. Fat Joe did not want to pay, so T.A. resorted to going on his Instagram and calling Fat Joe a pedophile, saying that he messes with underage girls. Fat Joe said, you're not gonna play with my name. So Fat Joe, in return, put a lawsuit on his ass. I think that if T.A. felt like Fat Joe needed to give him money, pay him whatever he deserved, he should have took it to court first. Because now you're playing with a man who has a lot of power. I'm not gonna lie, Fat Joe has a lot of power in the industry. He got a lot of connections, and listen, he not about to have somebody defame his character. So yeah, I don't know. This man T.A. don't really have a lot of following. A lot of people don't really know who he is. So Fat Joe is definitely gonna win. But damn, Fat Joe being a pedophile is crazy. I don't want to believe
So that was her breaking it all down for you. You know what I mean? He used to be a hype man for him, and then he coming out talking about he was a PDF, saying he was interested in little girls and all this and that. You know what I mean? It definitely sound like some disgruntled employees. You know what I'm saying? Of somebody that wanted money that didn't get the money that they wanted. So now they trying to throw his name in the dirt. You feel me? We have never heard of Fat Joe in anything like that. So it definitely sounds bogus. You feel me? Dude don't really have a following. The dude Terrence T.A. Dixon, I couldn't find anything on him. I tried to look up a video of him saying these things, talking about it or anything, and it's leading me to a whole nother Terrence Dixon that's not this dude. You feel me? So dude don't have no type of motion, no type of following or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So that just helps Fat Joe further out with the case that he's gonna be building on, dude. You feel me? Dude doesn't seem to have any type of credibility. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all bad, all bad. Up next, Beyonce. Beyonce kicked off her Cowboy Carter tour. You know what I'm saying? She went on tour for her country album. You know what I mean? Went on tour for a country album. Sparked it off at the SoFi Stadium out there in Inglewood, California. That is in the Los Angeles area out here. In case y'all don't know, the SoFi Stadium, that's the new stadium they built out there. So she had kicked her show off, and then some females had got into a brief little melee in the VIP section at that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's aunties and grandma, you know what I'm saying, was definitely start throwing hands and pushing and shoving and all that type of shit. And these women are not young. They definitely are in their 40s and 50s for sure. I don't know what caused it. Don't say what caused the melee or what caused the girl to push the girl down. I don't know. You feel me? So this next little clip you about to see is a clip of them. Is a clip of the melee. Now they don't show the whole thing. It's no fists being thrown. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's breaking any guidelines. I could have went to Twitter and got the whole video, but the ones I seen on TikTok is editing out the part where she runs up and pushes the lady down. You know what I'm saying? But you will see that she goes up and definitely hits her cowboy hat off her head. You know what I'm saying? And when she goes to pick it up, the lady runs over and then pushes her down. You feel me? They're not gonna show the lady push her down, but when she starts running towards her at the end of the video, that's what she does. She goes and pushes the taller, light-skinned lady down to the ground. 50 Cent also trolled on this, saying that what's up with the ticket sales, because apparently there was 3,800 tickets still left to be filled the day before the show happened. So 50 Cent was definitely trolling on that, and I got a little clip for that. Also, academics have said, 50 Cent, you need to chill. This is Beyonce. She's going to sell out. They are her label, and everybody is going to make sure that she sells out, and went in to discuss Ticketmaster and who they own by and how they run certain things in the industry and all that. So I got a clip for all that. So the first clip that you're about to see is the clip of the brief melee of somebody's grandma and auntie going at it in the VIP section of Beyonce show. Check it out. So as you seen, you know what I'm saying? That was her going up, hitting her cowboy hat off her head. And then when she ran over before it cut off, like I said, she ran over to push her down. She pushed her down on the ground, and then the lady that was down on the ground tried to use her feet and kick at her. And somebody, an attendee of employee that worked there, came and broke it all up and helped the lady up afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So 50 Cent was trolling that, you know what I mean? And saying, what's going on with the ticket sales? Why you ain't selling? What's going on with that? It was 3,800 tickets before the show started. You know what I mean? So we all know 50 Cent his trolling self. You know what I'm saying? So this next little clip you about to see is some dude named Frank the Cap. He's like the little animated little hot dog dude. You know what I mean? But he gonna be telling you about how 50 Cent was trolling Beyonce after the ticket sales appeared that they wasn't selling out. Check it out.
Cent trolls Beyonce amid reports of low ticket sales on the Cowboy Carter tour. 50 Cent poked fun at Beyonce on Instagram Monday afternoon after TMZ reported that she's struggling to sell tickets to shows on her upcoming Cowboy Carter tour. The outlet broke the news earlier in the day, explaining that tonight's show at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles still has over 3,800 tickets available. Ish getting real out here, 50 wrote. Hey, the tickets ain't selling. Enjoy my news stories. Don't forget to follow me and share my posts. I share 3 news updates per day. Until the next one, Riley Frank Cap, RFC News.
You know what I'm saying? That was Frank the Cap, the little animated hot dog, telling you about how 50 Cent was out here trolling Beyonce for not selling out on her first day, kicking off her tour at the SoFi Stadium. You know what I'm saying? This next clip you about to see is of academics who had to speak on 50 Cent trolling the Beyonce situation. Check it out.
Don't you?
I think 50 should chill out. Beyonce's tour is going to sell out. This is the real thing about tickets when you're in the system like Beyonce is. And this is why what 50's doing, like fans might buy into it, claiming that Beyonce's tour tickets are not going to sell. Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. Live Nation is the closest, probably other than Amazon, to having a complete monopoly over the industry. And they actually have a bigger monopoly, more than like Amazon. You know, Amazon is in retail and sales. Live Nation has made it where touring is completely in their wheelhouse. They own Ticketmasters, they own the venues, they own the festivals, they own every damn thing. What happens is that they also choose and pick and choose where they want to kind of funnel the people that buy tickets to. Which, what does that say? These tours, they can't flop. When they send Kendrick out on a grand national tour, again, just look who's behind it, right? Once you look who's behind it, it's gonna tell you all you need to know. Okay, you see Live Nation right here, right? Yo, Live Nation isn't rolling the die to put Kendrick in stadiums. That's why when people say, oh, Kendrick's about to flop, he can't flop. First of all, Live Nation, as I'm telling you, it's almost like a monopoly. Live Nation, if their ticket sales are going to slow down,
this clip that you just seen, that was academics breaking it all down for you, breaking down how Ticketmaster works, breaking down the owners and who owns who and the labels and how they tied in with Ticketmaster and all that. That was academics breaking all that down for you. You know what I'm saying? This was Beyonce's kickoff tour. You know what I mean? Kicked it off out there in LA. Funk happened with some old ladies and backstage in the VIP section. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, that's all I got for today. That's the last topic of the day. You know what I'm saying? This has been episode 236. You feel me? Let's put some little closing thought on each of these topics and subjects. You know what I'm saying? So first we had Diddy. Originally, when I had read about this, the topic, that Diddy had said that he wanted Cassie's lawyer gag ordered, you know what I mean? But I couldn't find anything on that, so that's why I went into the video being admissible in the court, you know what I'm saying? Now, if that video is admissible in the court and they have free range to analyze and break that shit down, that's not looking good for Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Because he definitely puts hands on her in the video, definitely throws her down to the ground, and we definitely see him kick her in the ass after she is thrown down to the ground and appears to be briefly unconscious, you know what I'm saying, and then kicks her in the ass, you feel me? So if that video is finna be showed in court and all the people is gonna have free range to analyze and break that down, it's definitely not a good look for Diddy, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know why he wants a gag order on her lawyer all of a sudden out of nowhere. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Little Durk family is fighting to get him out, and I side with that, you know what I mean? Because if it ain't no evidence showing him that you hired these motherfuckers to kill dude, you know what I'm saying, the unalive dude, there isn't anything that I see that's holding him there in jail, you know what I'm saying? There isn't anything that I can see. It's definitely lack of evidence and falsifying evidence for show, especially if they're trying to use the lyrics to some video that some fan put out and put the song lyrics over the video in the background, and that's what y'all trying to use, is totally false. That's totally not cool, you know what I mean? Definitely free Lil Durk if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? I feel it, and I feel his family fighting for the justice for that, you feel me? Because something like that need to be justified, you know, especially if he's sitting in jail, but don't need to be, you know what I mean? Facing all them years and don't even need to be. They don't even have anything to prove or to tie him to this murder for hire is what he went in for. You know what I'm saying? We touched on Fat Joe, former hype man, suing him. You know, or he's suing his former hype man for calling him a PDF, suing him for defamation, saying that he is into trafficking and into young girls. Pretty much calling Fat Joe a Diddy, you feel me? But all of this comes after dude said that he helped him write some songs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Now, if I was Fat Joe, I would sue his ass too. You know what I'm saying? Especially after he came at me for money, talking about you ghostwriting some of my songs, and I know damn well that I spent nights and fucking days and nights in the studio on end writing these songs, and you was nowhere to be found, my nigga. So I would have been suing also. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact, definitely. Then Beyonce had this fight when she kicked off her tour. It's not a good look for the Beehive. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look for her fans. You know what I mean? Especially this is the first day. You know what I mean? Kicking off her tour out there in Inglewood, California. And they could not act right. You feel me? Now these, as you seen in the video, these ain't little 20-year-old girls. You know what I mean? These are old women. Look like they in their 40s and 50s. Somebody's grandma and auntie out there pushing and shoving each other at the VIP section at the concert. Now, if you pay VIP, that means you spent extra bread outside of the standard ticket price. Probably about $200, $300, $400, $500 more dollars. You know what I mean? That you spent on that. And you chose to go there and spark off hands-on funk, hitting hats off heads and pushing women down and shit like that. It's not classful, you know what I mean? It don't make us as a people look any type of good, you feel me? We got to stop being ratchet on these cameras, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my closing thoughts and commentary on each of these subjects, you feel me? That's everything we went over today, you know what I'm saying? In today's episode, you know what I'm saying, we talked about Diddy, you feel me? We touched on Diddy, how he won a gag order for his for Cassie's lawyer, and also the video that we all seen of him pushing down Cassie is going to be presented and admissible in the trial. We also touched on little Durk. His family is coming forth trying to get him out of jail, saying that it's injustice, and they got him in there on false evidence that's not real, and basing on some song lyrics that was put over a fan-made video, and they're basing that, saying that he was murder for hire is what he's in jail for. So his family is fighting to get him out, get him freed. We also touched on Fat Joe is suing his current hype man, his former hype man, for saying that Fat Joe's a PDF and into sex trafficking and all that. Fat Joe has said that these are disgruntled employees, speaking of him and his lawyer, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to sue him or trying to say that he's a PDF, you know what I mean? We also touched on Beyonce kicking off her tour for the Cowboy Carter, and some older women got in a melee in the VIP section, you know what I'm saying? Showed you the clip of that, of her hitting the cowboy hat off the old lady head. But that's all for today. That's all for episode 236. You know what I'm saying? Hope I put something in your ear that you didn't know. Feel me? That's all for 236. Hope you enjoyed the episode. You know what I mean? Hope you enjoyed that episode. You could have been doing anything that you wanted to do in the world, no matter who you are. Whether you was a brother, a sister, whether you was a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife, whether you was an auntie, an uncle, whether you was a little brother, a little sister, an older brother. You know what I'm saying? A cousin, an uncle, a family member, whoever you are, you know what I'm saying? And if y'all got pets, say you got a pet dog, a pet rabbit, what if you got a pet goat? Maybe you got a pet worm, maybe you got a pet cockroach, maybe you got a pet ant in an ant farm, you feel me? And they all looking at Kons podcast. I definitely fucks with them, like you see my nigga scrolling up the screen, you know what I'm saying? But thank you for watching. This is a Wednesday, you know what I mean? This is the day before the weekend, you know what I mean? Tomorrow is Thursday, you know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all have a good hump day. Get over that hump, you feel me? I hope y'all get over that hump, get your productivity right, you know what I'm saying? Get over the hump, and let's look forward towards tomorrow for the pre-weekend before the weekend, you know what I'm saying? This has been episode 236. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Tell somebody else about this shit, you know what I mean? Put somebody else up on it. Let somebody else know, you know what I mean? Drop the link in your group chats, you know what I'm saying? In your group chats for work, in your group chats with the family, you know what I mean? Wherever the case may be, put the link in there. If you in Facebook groups, put the link in your Facebook group, you feel me? But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Enjoy this slapping ass beat and enjoy these credits.
You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?